Okay, it is October 29th, 2014, Wednesday night,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the 11th episode of Rye Guy Takes a Shane Train.
Our very special Halloween-themed episode since the holidays coming up.
Yes, indeed. Halloween is my favorite time of the year. It's the best holiday there is, so I thought we'd riff tonight
Yeah.
and just kind of talk about the holiday and whatever comes up, we'll address it.
Sweet.
So why don't we start with any just holiday memories? Like how does your family, or how did your family celebrate it?
Well, I grew up in Wisconsin, and we always did trick or treating at night.
Yes.
It was always nighttime trick or treating. None of this during school hours, bright daytime stuff, which I understand.
We'll need to get into
for
that.
safety reasons.
We'll get
sure.
into that.
But no, we always did it at night. The whole classic Halloween going out and I used a pillowcase.
Hell yeah, that's exactly that's what you use.
Just fill that sucker up with candy and just go to town.
Who took you trick or treating?
Usually both my parents did.
They both did.
Yeah.
So then who was running the house? Who was giving out candy?
Well, we lived on you know what? I'm thinking back on that now. Well, we lived when we did it when we lived in Wisconsin, we lived on this old street that was way the hell out there, so
Yeah.
we never really got that many trick or treaters anyway.
Oh, okay.
So they would take us into town. And we
Oh,
would do
so
it.
you were the family that drove in.
Yeah, we were the country bumpkins that had to come in from the woods.
Okay, all right. So they both took you.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the last year you trick or treated? How old you were?
Oh God. Well, it was when I was living.
It was probably junior year of high school.
No, it was when I was living in Iowa. It was the first year or two after I moved to Iowa, so it would be junior high, 7th grade maybe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like junior high would have been the last couple years to do it,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because I would still do it.
So
if
would
I
I.
could.
I want to do it now. I want to do it now.
I know.
I want to go out and get some free candy.
I feel like when we were growing up, around junior high, junior high was terrible for everyone. But I feel like when we were growing up, especially, it's when you really had to start letting go of things that made you happy.
Yeah, sure.
All in the guise of being cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like nowadays, it's I guess, but that has really nothing to do with Halloween. I think it's just a lot of people liking to be man children still now. It's
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the whole nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Especially with people our age looking back. Oh, the '90s! Yay!
Yeah.
It was great. But yeah.
because I don't remember. I don't certainly remember people that were our age then being oh, I wish I was trick or treating. I think they were just too busy being adults at that point.
Yeah, but I wasn't really paying much attention to them. So
Yeah.
it could have been.
My stable of 27-year-old friends is not exactly robust. All right, fair enough. Did you have a favorite costume?
I remember I bought this, and I hope I have it around somewhere. I bought this awesome giant Frankenstein mask that I would wear, and it would come down to my chest. It was the chin would come down to my chest, and it had a scar along the top that was red, that red see-through stuff. So that's what you looked out of, and then the head came all the way down.
I
loved that thing. I loved it.
Was that your last Halloween costume? And by what I meant is for trick or treating. So
Yeah. I don't know if it was my last, but that's the one that sticks. There's two that stick out in my mind. And one of them is that giant Frankenstein one that smelled not great. It didn't smell great. I wanted it to smell great, but it didn't.
Okay.
Right? And then another one, I bought this awesome gorilla mask and hands. It was the rubber giant gorilla thing. So I had that. Those are the two that really stick out in my mind.
I honestly can't remember what I would dress up as. I remember one year when we were old enough to go out on our own, and I tagged along with my brother's friends. We I think 5 or 6 of us dressed up as Ghostface. But that was around 97, 98, when Scream 2 was really big. But I honestly can't remember what kind of stuff I dressed up as. I just remember like my grandpa was usually the one who took us out, and like my mom would stay back to man the house for candy and stuff.
Nice.
And that was we can get into the trick or treating thing now because I was reading something online before I came over here about how like, and I even saw signs like now like malls have designated days where like kids can come to the mall. And,
yeah, trick or treat at stores.
Yeah, and like there's also like daytime designated trick or treating hours, and sometimes it's not even on Halloween.
Oh yeah, no, I think there were people doing it. Last weekend was a big weekend for daytime Halloween.
And last time I checked, that's not Halloween. It's actually going to be on Friday this year, October 31st. Yeah, so I don't know what they were doing last week, but that was not Halloween.
Maybe they were from the future, and it got confused. I
don't understand it. I know my grandma, she says that like the last couple of years, it's been just kids in cars. Ugh. Like a car will pull up, the kids will get out, get the candy, and jump back in the car.
Like not even in costume, or
sometimes there were a couple kids literally with just bags. Ugh. And I think that's when my grandma was like, "I'm all out. I'm sorry."
Yeah, that's when you cross the line from trick or treating into homeless people.
Yeah,
you know,
you're just a homeless person.
I'm hungry. Put food in my sack.
Yeah.
No, sorry, sir. Go. I don't have anything for you.
So I do feel like, as far as trick or treating goes, yeah, the holiday has gone sour.
Yeah. Well, it's also harder. It's different in the city, like having grown up in like the burbs, in somewhere where there were houses and neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's definitely mind-boggling to think about, you know, the logistics of trick or treating in like apartment buildings and stuff.
No one's ever come to my apartment.
Yeah, or same here in our old place. I don't know how it's going to be in this place. Obviously, I'm sure the same. But like it's you go to a door and you have to buzz in, and
there's no way you do.
And there's like 10 people. I can understand that it's super confusing. So that's why I understand like go to the designated spots for it, but
still make it on Halloween and make it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like some of my best memories were like, it's like 10 o'clock. At night, and like we're roaming the neighborhood, and like there's still kids out, and like but still like it's starting to kind of dwindle, and that was always so cool. Like that last hour of trick or treating, when like who was still out and about, and whose houses were still on, like because you always whoever had the lights on, you could go and.
Well, it was such a cool social thing because. Everybody in your neighborhood is out, and there's people from other neighborhoods. It's just like, oh, there's people here filling the streets. It's like, it's a big to do.
Did you ever like go with friends at all, or were you solo? I imagine when you trick or treated when you were in junior high.
Oh yeah. So I after a while it switched from because I think back in because it slowly went from just me and my parents to like parents and friends to then just friends. Yeah. It made that obvious progression. But I can remember going sleeping over at my friend's house, and then we all go out in like a group with our bags and come back and like pig out on the candies. Yeah. That was always kind of a thing after a while.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's talk about stuff. No, let's talk about movies. Because that's what we tend to do anyway. Special movies for the holiday.
One of my favorites to watch, and I watched this the other day, is Candyman.
Yeah. See, title
sure.
Standing.
It's definitely not a Halloween themed
seasonal
movie. Yeah. But it's a good it's cool.
Wait, did you watch it because of us filming?
Well. Partially.
Seriously, that's quite the coincidence.
I sort of try to watch it every year around this time, but it was definitely, we drove past Cabrini Green the other day, which is now non-existent. They tore the whole thing down. But we were mentioning it when we drove past, and it got in my mind. I was like,
The ducks?
Yeah, the ducks.
Sweets to the sweet.
But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. And then, obviously, Inez and I watched Trick or Treat.
If you don't mind, actually, I'd really like to go back to Candyman.
All right, let's rewind to Candyman.
Let's rewind the clock for a second.
Yeah.
Why don't you expound on that? Because I feel like Trick or Treat, we know what you're gonna say.
Oh yeah.
But this kind of surprises me and interests me that Candyman would be one of your.
I love. It's just like it's hard to describe because just the tone of it is very like dark, but it's like slow, and it's you know, it's got that what's his name, Philip Glass score that kind of really makes it just creepy and you know, all that stuff. And the scene when he bursts out his exits in that movie are phenomenal.
I've always been terrified of like public bathrooms ever since that movie.
He gets his
the little boy
dick hooked off.
Oh my god. And also Ted Raimi like dressed as a greaser.
Yeah. That's the thing. He's like the bad boyfriend, looking all like smarmy. Oh, dude, come on. But yeah, there's something about that movie, and it's weird because it's a movie that I usually watch alone. Like that's not a movie that I associate watching with other people.
Yeah,
it's just because when I first watched it, I just was like, I've never seen Candyman. Let's put that on. And then I was like, my God, I love this.
It's your own personal thing.
Yeah. It's a lovely flick though. But I mean, I think that's the same thing. When I first watched it by myself, it was Halloween time, you know. So I think that's how it got its hooks into me. It's like, oh, it's Halloween time again. Let's watch Candyman.
Okay. Now, did you ever see the sequels?
No, I have not.
Hey, don't bother.
That's what I've heard. What I've heard. You know, it's because it's such a concise like story. Yeah. It's done. Like the movie is over. It shouldn't have more. It could, sure, but it shouldn't.
They're not very good. But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweets of the sweet, I guess.
No candy to speak of in that movie.
No, there's no candy.
Yeah. There's bees, but
I'm trying to remember, like, how did they? Because they have to mention why he's called Candyman.
They really don't, though.
It doesn't have to do with the honey, does it?
Like that's the only sweet part of that movie. That's the only thing that makes sense for the sweets, because he gets covered in the honey and then the bees sting him to death. But like they were saying that he was called Candyman before that. He was this old like slave boy.
Yeah.
Maybe it was his job. Maybe he was literally a Candyman, but they never touch on that. They're like, oh, Candyman, like it's his name. Yeah. It's weird. It's baffling why they call him the Candyman, but God, it's a good movie. Yeah.
What's her name? What's the character's name? Jill?
Helen. Be my victim.
That was a fun Candyman tangent. Yeah. So okay, that and Trick or Treat, yes, which is a more recent.
Yeah, that is more recent. Like that has quickly become like the quintessential Halloween movie. Like, I wish it had come out when it was supposed to, like 20 years ago.
2000. It was supposed to come out in 2007.
Yeah, so that got batted around,
2 years.
Yeah,
because it finally came out on Blu-ray in 2009.
Yeah, but no, that is a Halloween movie to watch. That is just a solid Halloween movie.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
And then Paranorman for me.
Oh yeah.
Paranorman is.
I haven't watched it this year, but that's a solid movie.
Yeah, that's absolutely a Halloween classic for me.
Nice.
And that's that's 2012.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I think that's
speaking of like kind of like animated movies, I wonder if that Book of Life didn't really interest me at all.
I did want to see the Box Trolls. I've heard pretty good things about the Box Trolls. But yeah, Book of Life didn't really get its teeth into me.
And it's supposed to be like a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
it certainly came out in October. But just whatever.
So here, what are your thoughts on Nightmare Before Christmas? Halloween movie?
That's right.
Halloween movie or Christmas movie?
We've had this discussion before. I'm gonna say I forget what my stance was because I remember I was very
we were arguing about this a couple of years ago.
Very adamant on my stance,
and now you can't remember.
I'm gonna say though it's a Christmas movie.
I agree with you. It's good. It's a good like it's a good one to watch this time of year, but it's more.
It is absolutely a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
it's called The Nightmare Before Christmas. He falls in love with Christmas. He saves Christmas. Just because he's from a scary town doesn't make it a Halloween movie. I remember now. I'm starting to get upset now. It's absolutely a Christmas movie.
I mean, I like watching it around this time of year just because it does have those Halloween themes in it. But yeah,
you could like watch the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And be like, this is a Halloween movie.
Watch the first 15 minutes and then watch that chunk in the middle.
And then it's, by then this is on Christmas.
Yeah, there's Santa Claus.
But I mean, it's a good movie. Absolutely. Casper.
Oh God, yeah. Just the colors in that movie.
Though we're talking about the 1995 or 6 live action film.
Oh yeah, for sure.
not the horrendously depressing cartoon where Casper befriends a dog or like a fox or something.
There's like 20 of them now.
But no, I'm talking about one of the original cartoons.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Though. Okay.
He like befriends a fox or a dog, and like they become best friends, and they're kicking ass together. He like has a pet, and then it dies because like a hunter shoots it.
Oh God.
And it's super sad. He's like crying, and like kids are traumatized. And then he's like, "I'm a ghost fox," and they continue to kick ass like in the afterlife.
Well, I guess that's happy, but still,
it's still a super depressing cartoon for children.
But no, yeah, the movie. Oh.
Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
And what's the wife? It's not Juliana Margulies.
Oh shit!
But it's like her twin. It's
like
her familiar.
Yeah, it's Jean Grey, whatever her name is.
No, it's not. It's not her either. It's not Famke Jensen.
Famke.
We've on this podcast we've had this argument. It's not Famke.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
Oh, actually, I don't know that for sure, but there's absolutely no way.
It seems now in my mind I can't disassociate. Like, I picture when she's there as the angel.
It's not because it's Famke. Famke. That's why I like.
Makes her sound Swedish. Famke.
She might be.
Well, that's true.
But anyway, Casper.
Sweet movie.
Very good. Ghostbusters cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time we tried seeing it, it was sold out. Like that was a big movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
Did you have any of the toys?
Oh man, did I? I don't remember what
toys
they
sold. They sold all like 4. They had Casper and his 3 uncles, and they each did a cool thing, and they all glue in the dark.
Oh yes, Because didn't one of them like squirt water, and one of them like the stinky one actually like smelled.
The stinky one had bad breath.
Yeah,
and it smelled really bad. Oh, I loved those.
I remember I did have. I don't think I had all of them, but I definitely had some of them. Yeah.
I mean, the best thing ever is it glue in the dark.
Yeah, those were sweet.
That was a really good one. I haven't seen that one recently, but that's a fantastic Halloween movie.
And I don't know if that's on Netflix or not. It should be.
It came out on Blu-ray this past fall. And it's really cheap. Like it's not expensive.
Hocus Pocus.
Yes, that's another standard. Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Oh God, I still remember seeing that in theaters.
I'm sure I did too.
And the theater was empty.
Oh.
There was no one because that movie bombed. Like it did not do well.
Did it? Well.
It's only now like people are like, I love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, it's a cult classic.
Now. I can be an actual like hipster about it. Like I saw it.
I liked it before I was cool.
I was like 8 or 7 or whatever. But no, that's really good too. I think though when it's the season, you're gonna watch Halloween. John Carpenter's classic. Yeah, that's what you're gonna watch. It's Halloween. I mean, Michael Myers is the classy of all like the slasher villains. The Halloween series, even though it kind of strayed every once in a while, as far as the series go, it was always the classy one. It never went too off the rails. Michael never went to space. Michael never wore like sunglasses and was in the desert. He like they never messed with his look. He is all besides changing like the details of the mask. He's always looked the same. Unlike like Freddy or Jason, who had a new look almost. Even Freddy, who like had a sweater, and that was like it. But they always changed his look, and the Halloween movies are the best. I mean,
I don't think I finished those. Have I? Because well, maybe I did.
Have you? No. Have you seen 4, 5, and 6?
I honestly can't remember because we watched a bunch of them together a long time ago, didn't we?
We watched. I showed you the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series,
and we got
most of Friday the 13th. So you still need to finish those too.
I do, yeah.
But the Halloween series. Oh,
I feel like I've seen all of them. Yeah.
It wouldn't. Well, it certainly wouldn't have been with me.
Well, either way, they're good movies.
Those are absolutely the best. And those get very heavy rotation.
And you just bought the
box set that just came out. Oh God, Gift from Heaven, that box set. I'm surprised they did it. I never thought it would ever happen. The entire series. It's even part 3, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Because the original idea, this was so cool, and like now they'd probably do it, but like I guess back then I'm pretty damn revolutionary. After part 2, and they killed Michael Myers. Like we're done. We don't want to do Michael Myers anymore. they're like, we'll do Halloween, but we're gonna make it a annual anthology series. So every single year would be a new movie about the holiday, and it could be anything whatsoever as long as it was about Halloween.
Yeah,
like that's freaking cool.
that is pretty badass.
There would be a whole series, and like each of those films had the potential to have their own sequels. Such a moneymaker.
Yeah.
And audiences just rejected it flat out hated it, like viciously hated it. And that's why they went back to Michael. And yeah,
those anthology stories just don't want to catch on, do they?
No, they really don't.
Man,
they don't. For whatever reason, that just reminded me another holiday tradition, I suppose, every year, haunted housing, which is something that I've been doing since I was little, and I love it. I don't know. I think it's more of a Midwest thing, but the JCs,
yeah,
the JCs haunted houses. I don't think those exist anymore. Like, what is JCs? JC.
J like that JAYC whatever, however you spell it. SE. Yeah, I don't know. Was it a grocery store or was it like a little mall or something?
I always thought it was some kind of youth group. Or some kind of some sort. Oh, my phone's doing stuff.
Someone's calling you to tell you what JC's is.
We have a caller.
Oh, I've always wanted to do that actually.
You wanted to call in?
No, have to tell people a time that we're doing our podcast and have them call in with questions.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, maybe on another one.
Okay. But no, I feel like it's some sort of group community. Hey guys, the JCs will be, giving out turkeys on Thanksgiving to the homeless.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I feel like that's what they were.
Probably.
Because I think we would have known if it was a grocery store.
Maybe I'm just associating it with Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
In my mind. But yeah, I literally have no idea.
But haunted houses, love them. The more overproduced, expensive, the worse they are.
I agree.
I like the cheap, kind of dangerous looking ones, where you're not quite sure if the workers
nothing but splintery plywood and
yeah,
fog machines.
The worst thing ever, that should be banned from humanity is the car horn scare.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest.
Just the loud. It works though. That's the thing. It works.
But it doesn't matter. It's just it's never just the car horn. They always have the front half of a car. I don't know how they get it in there. There's always the front half of a car, and then it's wail on that horn.
Yeah.
And you'd think that living in Chicago, we'd be used to that sound.
But not when it's right next to you in the dark.
This past year, we only did a hayrack ride in one haunted house. The haunted house was really good, but the hayrack ride sucked.
Oh, really?
Do you remember? It's the haunted house that was in the woods. Where we took a hayrack down the corn,
right, and then did
it in the woods. This year, it's like they literally had maybe a tenth of their budget, and they're like, screw it, we're gonna keep going forward, even though we have no money. And the entire thing was a hayrack ride, and it sucked.
Oh, so it's equate it to the kick-ass first-person shooter video game, and then they make a sequel that's just the rails.
Yeah, on the rails shooter. I like that, but I was gonna go with you're in line, a really long line, waiting to get to the ride, and then you get up to the front, great, I hope you had fun.
That was the ride.
We'll see you later, because that's exactly what it was.
All right.
They would stop us every 10 or 15 feet to a new really cheap, lazy scene. And there would be noise and distraction on one side, so then the performer could be on the other side
to scare you.
Yeah. And the first 2 times it worked. Obviously, it's did a great job.
Uh-huh.
They proceeded to do that very same formula for 10 more stops. Where it got to the point where we would stop, and I just look away from whatever their goofy ass setup was.
From the other side.
There's even one where it was. They didn't even bother. It was just a guy standing next to an electric chair with a robot, like a mannequin in the electric chair.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, okay, they're gonna shock him. And he presses the button, and there's maybe the tiniest flicker of a light, and the mannequin's kind of shaking, And like for about 30 awkward seconds of silence, that's it. And the guy's just staring at us as this mannequin is kind of jerking back and forth.
Nice.
And I'm like waiting. I'm like, all right, well, this asshole is distracting us. Let's at least some guy's gonna come out, right? And no one came out. So like literally, it was like just like it petered out, and then like also we started moving again. Like, what the hell is this? We paid a lot of money for this.
Oh, that's too bad.
And they also like the whole, you don't touch the performers, they won't touch you.
Mm-hmm.
I was manhandled by these performers. They were getting all up on my back, like giving me a back rub. Well, and one guy like literally gave me like a triple tap, like because he needed me to move, so he could like get on the thing with us and like rev his chainsaw. And like it was only scary for like the 12-year-old girls that were there. Mm-hmm. It's like, we wasted our money.
Oh, that's too bad.
And we paid for a corn maze, and we paid like extra like $2, which I guess you pay for, because we found, like, we made our way through. There was only like 2 people in the corn maze to scare you, and other than that was wandering around. And we found the exit in like less than 5 minutes.
Oh.
And the thing is, it wasn't labeled as the exit.
It just spit you out somewhere.
And we were like, this can't be right. And like this ghost or like this like skull lady like just kind of pointed and said anything. And so we went, but we were like, there's no way this is the exit. We've only been here for less than 5 minutes. This can't be right. I'm not gonna trust a skull lady. Like they're probably told to like get us confused and disoriented. Right. It's like, we're going back in. And so we went back in, wandered around more, and ended up right back at the
beginning
exit. And the skull lady's like, guys, that's the exit.
Oh.
And we were like, it sucks.
That's too bad.
But yeah, normally haunted housing's fantastic.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
There are some, like, the haunted house we went to the night before. Like, classy people, and they really, the more they like dress up the sets and like have different rooms with themes.
It was like that one we went to last year that was in the school, that like you made your way through all the different levels. Like, that one was good.
Yeah,
that one was kick ass.
They can be very well done. But then there's also people who shouldn't bother if you don't have the budget.
Well, God bless them for trying, but
no,
still.
Don't God bless them for trying. They stole our money. I wish they had some sort of haunted house Yelp site, because I would take them to task for stealing my money. Okay,
con artists.
Well, let's wrap this up in the next couple minutes. Anything else? Halloween. Any hopes, dreams?
Well, now, I mean, we talked about the past. Now we just sort of, I mean, I still dress up for Halloween.
Yeah, I guess
we still carry on those traditions. Obviously, not trick or treating anymore, because that would be weird.
That would be fun and exciting.
Yeah, right?
So why would we do that?
But I mean, the last couple of years we've still kept on the tradition of dressing up and just having like a party. Like, hey, come over, blah blah blah. So I mean, in that vein, we're still, and I usually put, pretty decent effort into my costumes, or at least I have in the past. Making masks, which I actually haven't done in a while. Like this year, I'm, it's coming together pretty well. I'm gonna be Gary King. Obviously, you know this.
Yeah.
From World's End. Actually, surprising how many people have not seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Literally everybody I've told is just like, huh? What? All right. Okay. But still, yeah.
No, I unfortunately the last couple of years it's become less about the costume for me. It's more about enjoying the season, because I never really have the money for like some big costume, and it always ends like, I know last year I didn't have anything, so I went as Carrie Elwes from Twister, because I dressed like him anyway. And I had the headset from Fate.
Yeah, that's true. It came out okay, though.
Hey, I looked exactly like him. So, I mean, like, mission accomplished. Like, are you like a telemarketer? Unrealized, I do.
Unrealized.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, still got to keep, as much as it's changed for us from the past, we still got to push forward with it.
That's true.
Yeah. It's still Halloween, man.
It's still Halloween. It's still the best holiday ever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then on that note, I'd like to end with my favorite with a song, with my favorite Halloween sound.
Oh yeah, do it.
This sound is what Halloween is. Like, it's it's oh damn! I wanted to talk about it's the old costumes real quick. Do you remember when we were younger? Like this died out, probably around the late '90s. It was like the very like last remnants of it. But remember, it was like a really cheap plastic mask and then a vinyl or plastic smock. So like if you wanted to be Batman, it was a really chintzy plastic Batman mask, and then like a shitty vinyl like smock
printout
thing, yeah. And it didn't even look like the outfit. It literally was like it just said Batman, or like it'd be like a drawing of Batman,
yeah.
Or if you wanted to be Casper. You know, like it'd be a shitty, cheap Casper mask, and then the vinyl would like literally just be Casper himself.
Printed out.
Like they were much more popular, like in the 70s and 80s. It's like I said, like it was when we were like little. It was like the dying breaths of that style of costume.
Well, now I mean you can kind of see that still reflected, like the chintzy, cheap. What comes to mind is like this. I've seen this horrible Spider-Man costume. Like at Target or just any rando Halloween store, but it's the plastic Spider-Man mask, right? That doesn't cover the head. It's not that like it's a plastic strap-on mask, and then it's a T-shirt.
Yes, I've seen
that's just printed with the Spider-Man colors and pattern. Not even a long sleeve shirt, a T-shirt, so your arms are still free.
I fully understand. You know, everyone has a different financial situation.
Sure,
but if you're wearing that outfit, there's no way you're trying to look like who you're dressed up as. Like you're an idiot.
Yeah. Like those are just like those are pretty rough. Those are pretty sad.
I would take you without a costume rather than those. Also, no, the absolute worst costumes on planet Earth are all those shitty ass like college dude bro
this is my costume.
No, those.
Oh,
no, I'm talking about. Every single Halloween store has that one section where it's literally for every douchebag college guy, where it's like, literally, like douchebag costume, and you're a douchebag. You know, like you're actually a literal douchebag.
Right. Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I don't want to say. Can we say pussy?
Sure, do it.
Okay, like pussy hound, and like you're like, it's like a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those I hate those costumes with a passion.
Those are terrible.
And also, I really hate it's a offshoot of those. It's the couple offshoot of those,
right?
Where it's like I'm a light socket, and he's the
like the light bulb. Oh, the plug.
The plug,
or like this screw and the bolt thing.
Yeah, those can go straight to hell.
Yeah, those are pretty terrible.
Hate those. If you're a couple that wears those, it's like I don't like you.
Yeah, those. Yeah, it's rough.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
so I'm glad I forgot about that.
Got that out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. Now we shall close out on this Halloween sound. So let's say our goodbyes first, and then we'll go on the greatest sound
after
ever.
The sound. Okay. Great. All right. Well, goodbye. I hope you all enjoy the upcoming Halloween season.
Yes. Enjoy your Halloween 2014. Hope it's memorable and fun. And now we shall say goodbye with the greatest sound ever.